Okay, but can somebody please explain how Miss Paula Abdul went from America's bubbly little sweetheart?
I've been blessed and totally humbled by the fact that I'm still, after decades and decades and decades, able to do what I love to do.
To the queen of pop culture mess? I mean, did Paula really slap a lawsuit on former American Idol producer Nigel Lithgow, claiming he sexually assaulted her? And before we all go chanting justice for Paula, did sis turn around and hit us with the ultimate reverse Uno card by allegedly hooking up with an American Idol contestant? Oh, and what about those bizarre on-air moments where Paula had us all side-eyeing the screen like, girl, are you okay? Or did you just chug 3 mimosas and a Red Bull before filming?
Is that what it is? I was wondering, what is that?
Somebody else must be talking to Paula. Are you there, Paula?
Because, let's be real, when it comes to Paula Abdul, the scandals are stacked higher than her teased-up 80s bang. So, between the lawsuits, backstage drama, shady relationships, and a career comeback nobody saw coming, grab your snacks, clutch your pearls, and maybe pour yourself a mimosa or 3, because we're about to dive headfirst into the scandalous, chaotic, and glitter-soaked roller coaster that is Paula Abdul's life. Born on June 19, 1962 in sunny San Fernando, California, Paula Julie Abdul already knew at the age of 4 that she was destined for the spotlight.
I knew I wanted to be an entertainer when I was 4 years old, watching Singing in the Rain. I fell in love with Gene Kelly.
At an early age, our girl was already taking ballet, jazz, tap, you name it.
My parents said that I stood up and I put my fist down. I said, I'm going to be an entertainer.
But let's be clear, Hollywood don't hand out dreams like candy, and her Jewish daddy made sure she understood that early. He sat her down like, look, sweetie, you're gonna hear no a whole lot.
Now, honey, the business you want to go in, it's not for the weak. And you're going to be told no a lot. I go, why?
But don't let that stop you. And trust me, Paula took that advice and ran with it like her rent was due.
But don't worry. Do not worry, because no is the beginning of a negotiation.
During Paula's freshman year at the California State University Northridge, she decided to audition for the infamous cheerleading squad of the Lakers NBA basketball team, famously known as the Laker Girls. The only problem? She wasn't exactly bringing 6-foot supermodel height to the table. But what she lacked in inches, she made up for in pure, unfiltered confidence. When they rejected her not once, but twice, Paula did what any future pop queen would do. She said, not on my watch, and pulled a full-on undercover diva mission.
And I walked out, and the 2 girls that were cut with me are going, I can't believe you're doing this. And I went,
she sneakingly kept signing in under different names until she was selected.
Yes! Yes!
And thank God, our girl came ready with tricks stacked higher than a magician on payday. Because within a year, not only was she dancing, she was running the whole damn show as head choreographer for the Laker Girls. And just when it felt like her Cinderella story couldn't get any better, oh, it did. She got noticed by the Jacksons after a few of the band members watched her perform at a Lakers game. And when you get celebrities in their feelings like that, you just know your life is about to change. She was signed to do the choreography for their video to the single Torture, but this gig wasn't a one-night stand. Oh no. Paula became that girl in choreography, landing jobs in Janet Jackson's iconic music videos like What Have You Done For Me Lately, Nasty, and even scoring the choreographer's spot on the Jacksons' Victory Tour. But here's the thing, how exactly did Paula go from dancing floor assassin to Billboard chart topper, selling over 7 million copies of her first album in the US alone? Easy. After watching numerous artists like Janet Jackson kill it on stage, Paula felt like she could totally pull it off.
Whenever Paula choreographed other people's stuff, there's a tendency to watch and say, I could do all this.
She probably was like, I already dance and perform on stage. Heck, I might as well go all the way and sing. So what did this go-getter do? In 1987, Paula took a gamble on herself and used her savings to make a singing demo that eventually got her signed to Virgin Records America. Now, let's not act like Paula was a newbie that just happened to blow Virgin's mind away. Trust me, ain't nobody getting deceived. That pretty face and her industry connection from dancing didn't play their part.
Says, I can sing. And she was quite a babe, so it wasn't real hard to put 2 and 2 together. If she could sing, Yeah, we could do something with it.
Yet, when she released her 1988 debut album, Forever My Girl, this album didn't just pop off, it exploded. It became the most successful debut album in history at the time. And if you're wondering just how massive it was, the album reached #1 on the Billboard 200, where it spent 10 weeks. And with singles like Straight Up, Forever Your Girl, and Opposite Heart Attracts, set the record for the most singles from a debut album to reach #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Now, before we throw a parade, let's address the glittery elephant in the room, Paula singing, or depending on who you ask, her talk singing. Because selling millions doesn't automatically make you the next Whitney, boo. And speaking of Whitney, ooh child, the shade was real. There's a leaked video where the queen herself straight up said Paula couldn't sing and was off key on her own records.
One thing, Paula Abdul ain't shit. Mommy, that girl is singing off key on the record.
And listen, if Whitney said it, that's basically written in stone, period. But Paula knew the deal. She hired vocal coaches, producers, and who knows, probably prayed to Mariah Carey's whistle notes for guidance. And hey, we respect the hustle, because even if the vocals weren't serving church choir realness, the girl had star power for days. Still, just when it seemed like Paula's life was dipped in gold records in sequence, the cracks started to show, because behind the choreography and chart toppers, Paula's world was brewing up more drama than a Bravo reunion. So boom, after snatching a Grammy Award and getting her little hand stamped on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 1991, yes, that early in her career, Paula was like, you know what, I'm good. Let me just go sit down somewhere and sip my tea. And that sudden little hiatus, we're gonna circle back to that, because it wasn't just a cute vacation, okay? But fast forward to 1995, Miss Paula pops back out with her third album, Head Over Heels. And listen, it did okay. Like, it peaked its little head at #18 on the Billboard 200. So it wasn't a total flop, but let's be real. For Paula, who had the girls gagging with her first 2 albums, that wasn't exactly groundbreaking. And after that little career downgrade, Paula probably looked around and said, all right, plan B it is. So in 1998, Sis pops up in this ABC movie called Touched by Evil.
Here, have one on me.
I can do that.
I insist.
Well.
And trust me, with a title like that, you already know it wasn't exactly award season material. But hey, a check is a check, right? Finally, in 2002, Paula took a major step and appeared as one of the 3 OG judges of the Fox reality competition series American Idol. Now, let's go ahead and talk about Paula's time on American Idol, because this is where things really started to spiral into beautiful chaos. Okay, so let's face it, we all know Simon Cowell was basically the villain of reality TV, right?
Is I don't think you're capable of doing anything better to have any chance at all of winning this competition. Tip for future auditions, don't. This personally, but... Oh, please. No, I mean it. You're one of the worst singers I've ever heard in my...
I mean, this man has made a career out of crushing dreams in front of millions. And then there's Randy Jackson playing the calm, level-headed middleman. So naturally, Paula stepped in as the sweet, slightly offbeat judge. The one who would find something nice to say, even if low-key. The contestant sounded like a car alarm in a tunnel.
The softness of it all that kept us, at least I like to think, grounded.
Someone had to be.
But grab a snack, because this is where the real drama kicks off. In 2005, a contestant, 22-year-old Corey Clark, basically half Paula's age, pops up claiming he and Paula were having an affair. Oh, and not just that. He also claimed that Paula secretly coached him on how to succeed on the show. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why is this man choosing now to tell us all this mess? And trust me, the math wasn't mathing. Because although Corey claimed he was coming out because his career was being prejudiced by what happened, homeboy just so happened to drop these bombshells right when, drum roll please, he had a little CD coming out and was shopping around for a book deal. Yeah, Corey, we see what you're doing. And while Paula was mostly quiet, hitting us with that classic, hey, I don't want to talk about it, guys. Guess who came sprinting to Paula's defense like he suddenly found his heart? That's right, the Ice King himself, Simon Cowell. He straight up called Corey a creep. and said he was just using Paula's name to stir up publicity. Fox, of course, launched an investigation and came back with the most Hollywood statement ever. There's insufficient evidence. Translation: something probably happened, but we're not touching this with a 10-foot pole. And by August 2005, Fox confirmed that Paula would be right back in her judge's chair like nothing ever happened. Business as usual. But oh no, don't think for a second that that was the end of the drama. Because if you thought that was messy, just wait. Things were only getting started. So when you've already snatched Grammys, sold millions, and become America's sweetheart on Idol, what's the next move? Easy. You get yourself a reality show. And in 2007, Miss Paula gave us Hey Paula. A whole series centered around her fabulous, chaotic life. Now, let's be real. With her pop queen status and her sweetest sugar rep from American Idol, we all thought we were about to see some cute, bougie day in the life content. You know, shopping sprees, spa days, maybe her petting a tiny dog in a designer bag. But woo, were we wrong. Like loud and wrong. Instead of glam, we got pure reality TV mess. After just one season, Hey Paula got snatched off the air. Canceled. And the reason? Paula's on-screen antics were giving chaotic auntie at the cookout after one too many glasses of wine. Now, let's rewind back to 2005 when folks first started side-eyeing Paula and whispering, "Is she on something?" Viewers swore up and down that her erratic behavior on Idol wasn't just quirky. They thought sis was on drugs.
I'm made to be this looped out girl that's out to lunch, drugged.
Paula clapped back quick though. She said, absolutely not, and explained that she'd been in chronic pain ever since a cheerleading accident at 17. She revealed she had RSD, that's reflex sympathetic dystrophy to you, and that she managed the pain with anti-inflammatories. Fair enough, right? But then that interview happened in January 2007. Oh yes, you know the one. The one where Paula was swaying in her chair like she was at karaoke night and slurring her words like happy hour hit a little too hard.
In the past, gotten a really bad rap. But I was there. I get it.
Sis was answering questions nobody even asked. It was giving vibes. And listen, if you saw that clip, you already know nobody was buying the excuse her publicist tried to serve us. Ma'am, that's not what that looked like. Paula, for her part, stood 10 toes down and insisted she'd never touched drugs in her life. She said every accusation was a bold-faced lie.
You have not abused prescription pills.
Never, never.
You have not consumed alcohol before going on the air.
Never. I've never been drunk in my life.
And we hear you, girl. But that interview is still sitting on YouTube, gathering views like a comedy skit. Okay, now let's get to the real juicy part. How Miss Paula Abdul ended up dragging a whole American Idol producer to court. So, picture this. On December 29, 2023, Paula popped out with a lawsuit that basically said, surprise, I got receipts. Sis claimed she was allegedly being assaulted, and not once, but twice, by none other than Nigel Lithgow. One time back in 2002 during her American Idol days, and then again in 2012 when she popped over to So You Think You Can Dance. Now, of course, Nigel came out swinging with the usual Hollywood script, I deny everything. Because, let's be real, when has anyone in that town ever just said, yeah, you got me? Exactly. Never. And while I wish I could spill every last drop of what went down behind those courtroom doors, the details stayed locked up tighter than a 90s diary with a heart-shaped key. What we do know is that by December 2024, the case was settled, and Paula was out here telling folks it was finally something she could put behind her. Okay, so if you've been watching You on Netflix, go ahead and clutch your pearls, cause this next part is giving major Joe Goldberg energy, but like even messier. Now, we all know one of the unfortunate side effects of fame is ending up with that one obsessed fan. But in Paula's case, it went from sad to downright chilling and actually played a part in why she packed up and said bye to Idol. So here's the tea. November 11, 2008, a 30-year-old woman named Paula Godspeed was found dead in her car right outside Paula's home in Sherman Oaks. And not only was it ruled a suicide by overdose, but sis had the car stuffed with pills, fan photos, and CDs of Paula. It was like a shrine on wheels. And honestly, just hearing about it will make you want to sage your whole house. But here's the kicker. This didn't just start out and end with that tragic day. Oh no, this woman had been on Paula's trail for years. First of all, if you're wondering if that shared first name was just a coincidence, nope. Godspeed was so obsessed, she legally changed her name to Paula. Yep. She even drew portraits of Paula and sent her flowers like she was auditioning to be the president of the creepy fan club. But it didn't end there. She also auditioned for season 5 of American Idol in 2005. And here's where Paula thinks American Idol should have protected her. According to Paula,
I said, this girl is a stalker of mine, and please do not let her in. And there were people, everyone knew. I mean, I was shaking.
But what did Idol do? They allegedly let her audition anyway because they thought it'd be funny.
You mean they put you in peril because it would be fun?
Fun for them to cause me stress.
Like, can you imagine how that must have felt for Paula, watching her stalker pop up on national TV while everyone else is laughing? Fast forward to July 2009. Paula's manager, David, told the newspaper that very sadly, it doesn't appear like Paula will be going back to Idol. And despite Paula's differences with the producers, let's be real, her main reason for leaving was money. Now listen, Paula was already clocking a cool $5 million per season, which for most of us is like winning the career lottery. But our girl said, that's cute, but I want $20 million. And although she swore up and down it was about principle and not money, child, for $20 million, I'd be standing on principle too. But Idol wasn't about to cut that check, so they swapped her out for Ellen DeGeneres, and let's be real, the show kind of fell flat after that. Cause love her or not, Paula really did bring an energy nobody else could fake. Now, let's circle back to that little hiatus Paula took early in her career, cause baby, on this one, the math isn't exactly mathin'. According to Paula, in 1992, she was involved in a plane crash.
In a small 7-seater plane, one of the engines blew up. The right wing caught on fire and we crash landed. I didn't have my seatbelt on.
That required her to have 15 cervical surgeries. She claimed it happened after her Under My Spell tour when she was traveling from one city to the next in a small plane. And of course, she had to press pause on everything and recover. But woo, fast forward to 2020 and everybody started side-eyeing this story like, wait a minute now, Paula, because let's be real. How do you, a whole celebrity, survive a plane crash, have that many surgeries, and not one paparazzi, news outlet, or even a nosy neighbor caught wind of it? And the real kicker, folks started digging and couldn't find any records of this so-called accident. No reports, no news clippings, nothing. Just crickets. So when people started calling her out, you'd think Paula would come with receipts, right? No, she hit everybody with the most casual, "Hey, I really don't care" energy. There were 7 other people on that plane with me, so if y'all don't believe me, that's totally on you. All right, ma'am, if you say so. So you already know if Paula's career was giving chaos, her love life wasn't about to be smooth sailing either. In 1992, Paula snatched up Emilio Estevez. Yes, that's Estevez, Charlie Sheen's brother. Hollywood royalty and all that. And at first, we were like, okay, Paula, come through with the A-list hubby. But by 1994, that fairy tale was over. But to be fair, this one wasn't all messy. Paula later said they split because she wanted babies. And Emilio, who already had 2 kids from a past situation, didn't. But you know our girl Paula wasn't about to be sitting around crying in her dance shoes. Oh no. By 1996, sis was already dusting off that wedding dress and saying I do again. This time to Brad Beckerman, a clothing designer. And for a minute, it was giving new man, new chapter. And woo, 2 years later, in 1998, yep, you guessed it, another divorce. And this time, They hit us with the classic Hollywood breakup line, irreconcilable differences. I mean, at this point, they should just stamp that on all celebrity marriage licenses like a return policy. Oh, after all the drama, lawsuits, scandals, and side eyes, you'd think Paula would just hang up her heels and call it a day, right? Wrong. Sis said, retire where? So here we are in 2025, and at 62 years young, Paula is still out here doing the most. And honestly, we love her for that. Just this past March 2nd, she popped up as a judge on the first round of the 10th series of Let's Dance. And don't get it twisted, she's not just sitting behind a desk. Nope, Paula's been back on tour, shimmying and two-stepping her way back through various cities like her bones ain't been through 15 alleged surgeries, okay? But wait, because Paula's not just about the stage life. Sis has also been dipping her toes into Broadway, helping produce the musical How to Dance in Ohio. I mean, multi-talented queen behavior, period. And you know, with all that work, the next question is, so how much is she sitting on now? Well, Miss Paula is clocking in an estimated net worth of $30 million in 2025. And listen, not too shabby for somebody who had to sneak her way into the Laker Girls audition back in the day, right? Oh, but let's talk legacy real quick, because after all the scandals, lawsuits, side eyes, and chaotic interviews, what's Paula really going to be remembered for? It goes all the way back to her daddy's golden advice. You're going to hear no a lot, but no, that's just the start of a negotiation. Whew, now that's a word. Because, let's be honest, if Paula taught us anything, it's that the real flex is the bounce back. Through all the mess, the chaos, the drama, the whispered shade, Paula stayed standing, dancing, and smiling. Sometimes a little too much, but hey. And if there's one thing we can snatch from her playbook, it's this. When you're chasing your dreams, if the rule ain't written down in black and white, boo, it's not a rule. So bend it, stretch it, shimmy around it, and get what's yours. Because if Paula Abdul can do it, so can you.